liberal, democratic, and at the same time market-oriented capitalist logic is not enough to confront these problems. I am well aware that the era of state socialism is over. It's not that we have to return to some state communism or whatever, new Leninist party controlling everything, but literally we will have to invent new forms of collective action. If not, I'm afraid we are approaching a very sad world, where nature will be ruined, where we will have new gated communities, apartheid, humanity will be more and more divided into those who are in and those who are out. Did you notice this paradox, how we say 1919, the world is united, Berlin Wall fell down. Now, new walls are being constructed all around. West Bank and Israel, United States and Mexico, the wall symbolic, now even real around Western Europe, and so on and so on. So I think that while, of course, we should not just sit and wait, we should be engaged in struggles and so on, but we should nonetheless be aware that we are confronting in many dimensions some big critical situation. And we have, from ecological standpoint, from social tensions and so on. And my Marxism means that we should keep this in mind all the time. We do not have the answer yet.
Ok.
Boa noite. No Visão em Paralaxe, você se refere a um sujeito pós-traumático. Sei que você é psicanalista, profundo conhecedor de Lacan e Freud. Eu lhe pergunto se esse sujeito pós-traumático seria um sujeito pós-neurótico. Não é exatamente o que a gente vê na clínica em psicanálise, mas talvez em termos de uma nova subjetividade emergente, se esse sujeito das identidades fluidas, se ele já não seria mais o neurótico freudiano, se há um sujeito, uma nova clínica surgindo aí.
First, let me make one thing clear. I am psychoanalyst, but only in a theoretical sense. I don't have the patience, the ability, and so on, to treat real people. I mean, just look at me. I'm nervous and so on, and look deep into your heart and ask yourself a simple question. If you were to have serious psychic troubles, can you even imagine coming to me as the analyst? No, probably not. No, okay. So let's make this clear. I speak as a theoretician. But you touched here a crucial point. I definitely think that already in the 20th century, a new form of subjectivity emerged, for which I don't like this name, post-traumatic, but it points in the right direction. The first figure would have been the so-called Musulmanen, Muslims in concentration camps. We can call them in vampire terminology the living dead. Those who were so psychically destroyed that they were literally deprived of the, how should you call it, libidinal substance of their being. These are people who no longer have the ability of empathy, they are no longer engaged with the world, they are in a way just vegetating. To use a non-precise poetic term, you know, when you look into their eyes, you don't see that spark of life, of the will to live. And I think that this category is crucial. It is becoming a kind of a symbol or exemplary case of, I'm even tempted to say, making a quick connection between psychoanalysis and social theory, the new figure of the proletarian. Because let's not forget that for Marx, proletarian is not simply the worker who is exploited. Proletarian means for Marx, in very precise philosophical Hegelian sense, a subject, a pure form of subject, deprived of all substantial content. You are just a pure form, all content is taken away from you. And isn't then this post-traumatic form of subjectivity, a living death, to put it in vampire terms, the one who is in a way still alive as a subject? You function, you talk, but it is as if you are pure death drive without libido, without all engagement and so on. And again, we have different forms of this, from victims of natural disasters, victims of war, torture, even victims of purely biological processes like Alzheimer, brain degeneration, and so on. I think that there is also a political dimension to it. Although I often disagree with Tony Negri and Michael Hart, I agree with them when they claim that what is going on today is something they call, using the old term from early modernity, the enclosure of the commons. The privatization of commons, not in the sense of state property, but in the sense of the substance of our being, what belongs to all of us as collective heritage. And the processes we are witnessing today are, I think, new forms of the enclosure of commons. Ecology means even the natural base of our being is ruined, taken away from us. Intellectual property, our symbolic inheritance is taken away, and so on and so on. So I think that this, let's call it empty subject, the living dead, which is for me, but that's more a philosophical topic, the form of Cartesian subjectivity, Descartes' cogito. So in this sense, not to get lost into too much talking, in this sense I think that today we should redefine the proletarian position. Not only, also, of course, but not only exploited workers, but all other forms of proletarization. For example, an intellectual worker who programs computers, but all that he does, he is deprived of it. He does it for Microsoft, for whatever. All the result of his work is privatized or belongs to the other. Or people who live in ruined environment, in ecological catastrophe or whatever. Aren't these, in a way, new figures of proletarians? So I think we should stick to the word proletarian, and also, now comes the tough part, to what is its opposite in Marxism, communism. Communism, I claim, will have to be reinvented. Of course, it's not the old state communism, we just need to nationalize all industry. The problem is how to reappropriate these commons, which are taken away from us. The collective, not even property, the collective substance of our lives. So here you can see how, to conclude, how I think that it's crucial for today's thought, not to think in different separated domains, to see how apparently a purely philosophical category, like cogito, Descartes, the pure subject, has a very precise psychoanalytic content. I claim that so-called post-traumatic subject is Descartes' cogito that we encounter in reality, but also a very precise political content. And just to add another note, why don't I like the term post-traumatic subject? Because I hope you will agree with me, I think that it's too much a term which fits developed Western societies. There, when we have a trauma, it's usually something that happens quickly, and then you are in a post-traumatic situation, how to deal with it. You are raped, there is a terrorist attack, there is an earthquake, you survive it, and then how to deal with it. But isn't it that in less developed third world countries, there is no post-traumatic situation, the trauma simply goes on. In the West, you are raped, then if you survive, you are traumatized, how to do it with it. In third world countries, you are raped, and then you are raped again, and then you know that you will be raped.